Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and yes, we're having our Trump coffee at 1 o'clock in the morning. And yes, I'm not kidding, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I usually don't get to bed till somewhere around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Of course, last night I didn't get to bed till actually this morning at about 6 o'clock. But anyway, I thought it was about time for us to do a Bison chat and go over some things, and who knows, maybe we'll have a rant and rave. I was sitting here watching, I'd seen Evil Twin X, and he had mentioned one of the guys that I was subscribed to for a long time, and it's Chandler Dickerson. He's having some issues with the landlord, and he could use help. I'm not in a position to be able to help. I'm barely able to help myself. But check his channel out. He's blacksmithing, and he does a lot of good stuff, makes a bunch of stuff, and right now he's going through some teachings back to the basics. I think that's kind of messed up, and now we're getting ready to rant. He made some comments on Facebook, and had some words with his landlord over them comments, which first of all is none of her business or his business. Whoever the two people are that are the landlord, they had no business sticking their nose in anything. But it's all over this leftist bullshit. I'm so sick of hearing about this leftist and the rightist, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm sick of it. I just pause it all. I hide everything. I don't want to see nothing about that Trump. I don't want to see nothing about Hillary. I don't want to see nothing about politics. I don't want to see nothing about the government. You know, life's too hard the way it is to have to deal with people like that. But you know, I know that there's laws against evicting somebody over their strong belief in the Second Amendment. I believe in the Second Amendment, and I believe everybody should believe in the Second Amendment, because hell, if they took all of our guns, the only people that would be able to get them would be the criminals. They're always going to have guns. So, you know, it's crazy, man. This world has went to hell in a handbag, so to speak. Anyway, enough about politics. Today I went and picked up 2 treadmills. I put an ad on Craigslist for some free treadmills that somebody might have had laying around, didn't work or whatever. I didn't care if it worked. And I was able to secure 2 treadmills before some flagged my post. There's somebody here in this area, every single time I put up a post asking for free unwanted treadmills, whether they work or not, some flags it every single time. This time he must have been off his game, because it took him 2 days to get me flagged. That's got to be a sad life for somebody to have nothing better to do than to sit around and wait for somebody to post something so that they can flag it, so they can go get it. Well, what he fails to realize is I'm asking for frickin' treadmills. I'm not posting treadmills, so how is flagging me doing anything other than being an ignorant me from getting one? Because he's not going to get it because they're answering my ad. So he's not going to get him if they're answering my ad. I could see if they were posting it. I guess he thinks that if I ask for it, they give it to me, they're not going to post it. I don't know what these people are thinking. I gave up on trying to figure people out. It's crazy. But anyway, I did get 2 treadmills, and I've been all day cutting them up, and got the controllers out of them. Listed them on eBay if anybody's interested in a M60 controller. I got 2 of them. One was a Proform and one was a Westlow. It was a Westlow treadmill. So I've got a treadmill motor up. It's a 1.5 horsepower, 130 volt DC treadmill motor. And I got 2 MC60 treadmill motor controllers. Those are the best ones to use if you're going to go that route. I also seen a video where somebody eliminated the having to turn the potentiometer all the way down in order to turn it back on. It's got to do with disconnecting the wire on the potentiometer. So if you put a switch in between the potentiometer, then you use that switch to turn it off and on. And when you turn it back on, it will start right where you left off. The only other problem is the soft start and the trying to catch up when there's a load on. That's the part I had a problem with. I could have dealt with the potentiometer, but I can't deal with that speeding up once it gets a load on it. My drill press does that, and eventually that controller is going to go too, and I'm going to do the same thing to my drill press as I did to the bandsaw. So I got all the metal framing for both treadmills cut up and all the plastic taken out. Got the belt off of both of them. One was a little chewed up on one side of it, but for the most part it's still a lot of good material. Now those treadmill belts are very handy for lining your toolbox drawers. Don't you go telling everybody. That's my secret. Bison's secret. Can't be telling. The Proform had a incline motor, and it is a damn shame that those incline motors are AC motors. If they were DC motors, man, the things you could do with those would be limitless. So that's what I've been doing all day, cutting up treadmill frames. And I got to give my bandsaw a really good workout tonight, or today. It went non-stop for several hours. one cut right after another, just bam, 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 and never skip the beat. So the last video on the upgrade to the Harbor Freight bandsaw, or Northern Tool bandsaw, it's one of the two, I don't know which one it is, I can't remember. That's going to be the ticket. That 10,000 watt AC to DC, or AC to AC controller, and then you use a bridge rectifier to get your DC. And it's a good system. At least it is for the bandsaw. Now I don't know how it's going to do on the drill press, because a bandsaw, when the blade's going through your metal, it's at a steady speed all the time. There's no more drag on it from the start to the end when the cut's done. So it's basically a steady cut. When you're using a drill press, as you're pushing down on it, you're putting more pressure on that drill, or drill bit, and putting a load on it. And like I said, with the controller, the M60 controller, it speeds up. Well, if you've got a big bit in there, like a 5/8, you don't want that bit speeding up. You want it to be steady, slow drilling. Smaller your drill bit, the faster you go. So we're going to see when I get the money to get me another controller. I got to get another controller and do the same thing to my drill, or drill press. Let's see. I got the frame, the deck frame built for the trailer, and just have it clamped on there right now. It started snowing on me, and weather got cold, so I haven't really done anything for the last 2 days. And as soon as it warms back up, we'll get back on that trailer build. And I guess the next thing is going to be the tractor, because I'm going to have the tractor to pull my trailer to try it out to show you guys. I still got a few things left to do on the tractor. I got to put the wiring harness in, get it running, and test out my new muffler I built. I'm kind of anxious to see what that muffler is going to do, how quiet it's going to make that Briggs & Stratton. So we'll see. Let's see, what else is on the agenda? I think that's about it. Somewhere during the summer or spring, or wherever we're at. Yeah, we're in spring right now. I got to put the ring and pinion in that Dana 70 rear in my truck. I don't know if I'm going to video that or not. I may not, simply because I'm so wore out on my truck. I just want to get it done. I don't want to fight with the camera. I don't want to fight with anything. I just want to get it done, start on it, and be done with it within a couple hours, hopefully. I've noticed a vibration in my truck. I don't know where that vibration's coming from, but I'm going to have to pull the rear drive shaft. It didn't do that until I switched rears. So I don't know what's going on. And I got a hair bugging the hell out of me. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. I got a slight vibration, and the vibration is coming when I come up off the fuel or the gas pedal, and I'm halfway between back pressure and throttle. So it's in that neutral zone, if you will. So when you don't have a load on it, it's vibrating. When you have a load on it, it doesn't vibrate. So that tells me that it could be one of two things. Either bearing, either in the rear end or the transmission, and it didn't have the vibration before I put the rear end in. So I'm leaning towards the bearing in the rear end. And I ain't none too sure I shouldn't just go on and get me a bearing before I start doing the ring and pinion job. That way, if I do find out that the bearing's bad, I don't have to stop. I can continue and finish the job and be done with it and not be down for a couple days. So unless when the rear end locked up on me going down the road at 55 miles, well, I was only going about 35 mile an hour because we was coming up on a light. At 35 mile an hour, it locked up on me, and both wheels locked up. And that could have messed up a universal joint. It could have messed up a bearing. I don't know. So it's going to be a lot of testing out. And the way I'm going to test to see if it's the drive shaft is I'm going to put it in 4-wheel drive, 2 high or 4 high, and then take the rear drive shaft out. If it still vibrates, then that means it's nowhere in the rear, it's in the front. From the transfer case on up to the front rear. So we're going to try to eliminate some of the things that's been the problem. Then I can take the front drive shaft out and put the rear drive shaft back in it and see if it's got the vibration. That'll narrow it down somewhat. It ain't going to get me an exact, but it'll narrow it down. I would venture to say that because this rear end had water in it at one time, I'm almost betting that front bearing for that pinion is going bad. So that's probably what I'm going to do, is just go ahead and order a bearing and have it ready for when I do the job. It's better to have it and not need it than it is to need it and not have it. And even if I don't need it and I have it, I'll have it for when I do need it. So take that. So I'm up to 308 videos. Took me 3 years to get 308 videos. Actually, there should be more. I would probably say that if I wouldn't have deleted any videos whatsoever throughout the 3 years, I'd probably have close to 400 videos. I've deleted a lot of videos because, remember, there's been times I've actually put 3 videos up in one day. On the SJ cam, they're weaseling out of the responsibility, so I can't really say a whole lot because I've had them for a year and over, so I can't really say a whole lot. Yes, it is a defect. Yes, it could be a problem. But you really can't push something that you've had for that long. I've had the blue one longer than I have the red one. The blue one I bought in 2016, right before 2017. The red one I bought in 2017, about 4 months after I bought the blue one that you're on right now. Yeah, you guys are all blue today. They're not even going to replace the batteries. They told me to go to the people I bought it from. And apparently SJCam China is not the camera manufacturer, because they told me that, well, we can't help you because you didn't buy it from us. Well, I thought they were the actual manufacturer of the SJCam. Apparently not. I don't know why they'd be calling themselves SJCam if they wasn't the manufacturer or main headquarters. So I don't know if they're just blowing smoke up my hind end, or just to get out of something, or if they really ain't a factory. So looks like I'm going to be using these as long as I can until something frees up and I can just go ahead and buy me a GoPro. I don't think I've ever heard of GoPro having the same problem with their batteries. The sound they have problems with. I don't know if they've even fixed that. They might have fixed that over the years. I don't know. But everyone I've ever seen that people talk about, they have a problem with the sound. And most people put external mics on them anyway, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this bad boy, we hope. The GoPro I have that somebody was gracious enough to send me, it's really old. It's a GoPro Hero 2 HD. It's got good video. The sound just sucks. So I'm probably not going to use it. I might be able to use it for when, let's say I'm driving down the road and I want to do a video. I can dedicate that for the truck to put on the dash, because I do have a camera mount on my dash. Of course, I never drive my truck, so when the hell would I ever video anything? So if anybody wants to buy one of them controllers, look me up. It's I do my best 66 2012 on eBay. So if you guys are interested in the controller, I got 2 of them, and I've got the one Macmillan DC motor that come off of one of the treadmills. Now I'm going to keep the 2.25 motor that came off of the Proform, simply because it is an exact match to the one on my drill press. So I like to have a spare for the drill press if something ever happens that I need it. Again, it's better to have it and not need it than it is to need it and not have it. I live by that rule. So I think that just about does it for our chat. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and burn that like button up. If you want to help support the channel, you can support the Bison Workshop by going to bisonworkshop@gmail.com. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Later.